What's up, guys? All right, today we're going to take a look at two pistols that I really like. Both these feel great in the hand. One of these I actually seen at Myrtle Beach when I was there one time, and I immediately came home and bought it. I'd never picked up a gun until that time that was that pointable. It was just right on the money every time. And now I've had more training, I do more shooting, videos, stuff like that. A lot of guns are that pointable, but up until that point in time, I didn't have very good fundamentals, and this gun was right on the money. All right, what two guns am I talking about? The CZ P07. Now, this isn't the one I bought down there, and I'll get into that here in just a minute, but this is a P07 versus the CZ P01. Now, this thing is tricked out. You can kind of see what's been done to it right there, whereas this one is more of not. But let me tell you a little bit about why this one is not the one I bought. I kind of got hosed a little bit. I made a trade on a car and threw in a couple of firearms on it, and the guy told me that the car had 70-some thousand miles on it. When I ran the background check on the car later, because I seen some things that didn't exactly look right, the car had 160-some thousand miles on it, and it was supercharged, and that made me feel a little uneasy. But when I contacted him about that, he had sold all the firearms and didn't have them no more. So there wasn't a whole lot I could do about it, because I couldn't prove that he was the one that did it, which I don't think he was the one that rolled those miles back, but I'm not sure if he knew about it or not. I don't know. But that was one of the guns that was gone. So I picked this one up the other day. You can see it is the tactical version. It does have the threaded barrel. It comes stock with that. It has the raised suppressor height sights. And other than that, the gun is pretty much the same as the one that I traded for many years ago, but I picked this one up about a month ago or something like that. The grip is still the same. I will say this one is not quite as pointable as the other one was, and I think that's due to the higher sights. The lower sights, I was easier for me. I can't talk, it's cold out here and I've been out here a long time. Was easier to pick up for me, but this one is still good. This one also comes with night sights, where my original one that I'd purchased did not. But other than that, other than basically the sights and the barrel, this is essentially the exact same pistol, other than it comes with 17 round magazine since it's the tactical version, and mine came with 15. Now, this is my CZ that I've sent off and had stuff done to it, you can plainly see. And it comes with 15 round magazines, and it is one of the best filling guns I've ever held in my hand. Let me turn the dot on to get ready for this. It is one of the best filling guns ever, especially with these palm swelled grips. It just feels amazing. CZ does great work on all their guns. But let's get in and talk about the controls. This is something I've tried to do a little bit newer on this video. A lot of y'all may want to know about the controls on these things, and I've started incorporating that into these versus videos. Now, as you can see, this gun does not have ambi controls for the slide lock. It has this big slide lock lever over here that I can barely reach with my thumb. Of course, I can hit it with my support hand, but I can barely reach that. Now, it does have an ambidextrous safety. Now, you may say, yours has a safety. They give you the safety in the box, so you can put the safety on if you want to. And I just heard things about the decockers on these guns working their way out and causing malfunctions, so I just did away with that and installed the safety. I don't ever use the safety, but I did install the safety. You cannot put the safety on like some of the SIGs unless your hammer is cocked back, like you want to carry it cocked and locked. So I don't even do that. I just leave it off and carry it double action, single action. But again, this gun feels amazing in the hand. And that's pretty much all your controls other than the magazine release. Magazine release is very easy to get to. Even if you have small hands, you're gonna be able to hit that magazine release right there. You can see how far my thumb actually sticks past it. Very easy to hit that magazine release to drop your magazine. So let's take a look at the P07. Much of the same, except this one does have the decocker. It does come with a safety if you want to install it, but I've not heard anything bad about these decockers. So I left it in. I would have done the same thing to the P01 had I not read bad things about it, and I wanted to avoid that. Again, big slide stop here. Can't really reach it with my hand. I can my sport hand, but my My strong hand thumb, not really, and it does not have a slide lock on this side. Again, much of the same. I can hit that magazine release with my thumb really easily. Both these guns are single double action. Again, this has a decocker. It works just like that decocker did. If you put the safety in this, it would work just like that safety did. We'll talk about the triggers here in just a minute. Again, like I said, both double single action. But without further ado, let's put some rounds on target. I do have probably close to 1,000 rounds through my P01, and I probably had a few hundred rounds through my other P07, even though I've not shot this one yet. I imagine they're kind of similar. Both these guns, I believe, have the Omega trigger in them, so triggers should feel sort of the same. But this trigger should feel just like my other P07 that I had. And like I said, I had a few hundred rounds through it. I didn't shoot that gun a lot, but I really liked it, and I had to get another one. So let's load some rounds up, put a few rounds down range. We'll talk about the triggers. We'll back it back out to 40 yards and see how my shivering hands hold steady, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, before we get started, let's talk about the magazines. I only put 10 rounds in each magazine. I tried to make everything fair. So I put 10 rounds in each magazine. The P07 magazine was a little easier to load. I know the guy I bought this gun off of had probably not had as many rounds through it as I do my P01, but the magazine on this one was still much easier to load. One other thing I want to note, the P07 magazine will not fit in the P01, but look at this. The P01 magazine fits in the P07, and there's some sticking out. It doesn't even seem that wobbly to me. I don't understand why the other, I mean, it's a little more wobbly than the regular magazine, but this magazine won't even really even start in the P01. Maybe we'll see if the P01's magazine will function in the P07, because I'm kind of curious about that now. But before we do that, let's put a few rounds through these and see how their triggers and recoil feels. Okay, first up is the P07, just because I hadn't shot it in a while and I've kind of been itching to shoot this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it out of the way and do some shooting with the P07. Now, one thing I want to say, you've seen right there, I went over the top to rack these. Both these guns have very small slides because the rails are inverted on a lot of CZ guns, and that lets you have a very low bore axis. But the way I normally rack these is kind of difficult to do, so I have to go over the top a lot on these. You'll see me do that on both these pistols, but I automatically go to this, and it's a little bit harder to do on CZs. Now, I want to shoot these in double action first, just to get that double action pull, so I'm giving you an opinion on which gun feels better, and the rest of the subsequent shots will be in single action. Okay, the double action seemed, like a normal double action would. It's stiff and solid all the way back. It's heavy, I guess what I'm trying to say, all the way back, but it was smooth. And then that shot broke, and every subsequent shot after that was single action. The single action in these pistols are great. Both these pistols, I've shot a lot of rounds through that one, have great single action triggers, and they're easy to keep on targets, and the sights do come back down well. Not optic, of course, in this pistol, not optics ready, doesn't have an optic on it, but the sights were easily found and easily to get back on target. So let's put some rounds through the P01, and then I want to put some rounds in the P01 magazine and test it in the P07 to see if it actually works. Okay, guys, time for the P01. Both have Omega triggers. I will have to ride this hammer down because I don't have a decocker on this one. But if I did, I could just decock it like I did the other one. That's the way the pistol comes out of the box. Again, you can't grab it up here like I would like to. Ride the hammer down. Here we go. Okay, now to me, the double action in the P01 seemed better. Now, you can see my hand. These grips are very, very aggressive, and it helps keep that gun really solid in your hand. But this is a much newer gun than the P07, or at least purchase wise. And to me, that double action seemed a little better. The single action also seemed a little better to me in this pistol. Now, of course, it isn't totally apples to apples. The optic is going to make this a little more like cheating, in my opinion. And these grips are just a little bit more tacky and fill my hands up better. I will tell you this, on cold hands though, you can definitely tell that you're gripping something. I don't know if you can see my fingers, but the imprints of these grips are actually in my fingers right now. But let's look at the triggers. I do want to do that. Before I actually put some rounds through that with this magazine, I want to compare these triggers and see which one I just think is better on actually dry firing, and show you all the take up and how it feels. All right, guys, first up is the P07. You can see right here, there's quite a bit of take up before you even get to even start to where the heavy double action is. It pulls back. It is smooth, and it breaks right there. Again, I can't really tell when it's going to break, but it is smooth all the way back. Your reset, really long. Then let's take it back up here and check out the single action part. You have a long take up, and then you have some travel afterwards. Again, let's take a look at that reset. Really long. And then again, here's your single action. Single action trigger feels really good. I mean, it's light. I guess you just don't feel it. There's not really a wall that's defined. It's just kind of smooth all the way through, and then it breaks. Let's take a look at the P01. All right, we have the P01 here. It's empty. All right, double action. A little less take up. There's still quite a bit, but a little less. It's smooth, 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 and it just breaks. This feels better, in my opinion, than the P07. All right, here's your reset. Reset is shorter on this one. Definitely shorter. Here is your take up for your single action. And you feel a little bit of a wall on this one. Still not a real defined wall, but you do actually feel more of a wall in the P07, or the P01, than you do the P07. All these PO numbers are going to start getting mixed up in my cold head. But all right, so now what I want to do is actually try the P01 magazine in the P07 because it fits. I think it'll function. We're about to find out. All right, guys, you can see this is the P01 magazine. It doesn't have the extension on it. We have the P07 gun. It clicks in place. It chambers around. It locks the slide back. It drops the magazine out. P01 magazines will work in the P07, but vice versa, not so much. I don't know. I just don't understand why that one's a little wider, but that's just the way it is. Let's go back out to 40 yards, see if we can actually hit anything. All right, guys. So first up is a P07. I don't feel like this is a fair comparison because the P07 doesn't have the optic and the P01 does. But in the Smith & Wesson versus FN 5.7 video, we've seen that, at 40 yards, you can still make perfectly fine hits with just iron sights. So that's what we're going to be trying to do today. I think I'm going to be shooting single action only at this distance, just to try to give this pistol a fair shake. So we'll just do both guns at single action only. Let's do the first shot double action. Why not? Who cares? This is just for fun anyway, and we're going to see if we can hit it. So first up, P07. Drop the hammer. First shot, double action. Probably never hit it. All right, guys, so I think I got like 5 of those. I was just so in awe that I actually hit it from the double action, single action, that I kind of lost count, but you can count in the video. It was about 50-50. I just didn't hit well with this gun. I think a gun shoots good. I just didn't shoot it good. My hands are really dry, and I've been out here for about 3-4 hours now in 30-degree weather. So that's probably going to affect it a little bit. I'm not making excuses, but that'll definitely affect your shooting a little bit. So let's pick up the P01 and see what we can do with it. Now, again, not quite fair because it does have an optic, but that's just the way it is with this comparison. And we're going to see how we do. Maybe this will get an optic one day and we can try it back out again. All right, guys, we're going to be doing the P01 the same way. Double action on the first round and single action afterwards. Again, it does have a dot. It is what it is, but we're going to see how we do. All right, guys, I'm definitely getting cold. I think it was 7 out of 10 for this one with a dot. And I believe on a warmer day, this is a 10 out of 10 gun any day of the week, just with the accuracy I've seen from it in the past. But today, being out here this long in this cold weather, we got 7 out of 10. And that's probably about as good as I can do right now because I'm a little shaky. So let's move back up here. I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, it's time for that decision that, half of y'all agree with and half of you won't. If I could only have one of these, which one would it be? Well, it's going to be the CZ. P01. They're both CZs, but P01. This gun, in my opinion, just feels better in your hand. It's more balanced with its aluminum frame, and I just think it looks better. But looks ain't everything. It just shoots better. The trigger feels better. The reset is better. It's a little more compact. Of course, the barrel length on this is helping that, but it just feels like a smaller gun in my hand, but a smaller gun that fits my hand very, very well. And I actually carry this from time to time as my CCW, and rightfully so. It's very pointable. It's very accurate. Again, I think on an 80-degree day, this would have been a 10 out of 10. But on a 32, 33-degree day, not so much after I've been out here. I know it looks like I got on different clothes, and I have been changing jackets to make it look like I've, been not wearing the same thing in every single video. But trust me, I've been out here about 3.5 hours doing videos right now, trying to get caught up for the next few weeks. And I'm a little shaky, but I still pick the P01. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Which one would you pick and why? I picked the P01 because it feels better in my hand. I think it's a more accurate gun and it just feels better. I'd like to know which one you'd pick and why that would be. Again, let me know in the comments. I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.